The opinions expressed in this video reflect the opinions of the participants only and do not reflect the opinions of the producer or the University of Chicago Law School. The University of Chicago Law School and/or the University of Chicago in no way endorse this video. While the University of Chicago was founded in 1892, 7 miles south of Chicago in Hyde Park, with an original endowment led by John D. Rockefeller, it wasn't until 1902 that the University of Chicago Law School opened its doors. From its inception, Chicago has been a leader in the field of legal education. The 2010 U.S. News & World Report Law School rankings place Chicago at number 7 in American law schools. Despite its prominence, Chicago has remained relatively small with under 600 JD students, and is unique among top law schools in that law and economics, or the application of economic models to legal theory, permeates the curriculum. Let's meet some students.
My name's Kyle Ortiz. I also got my master's at the University of Chicago at the Harris School of Public Policy.
My name's Sarah Melkerson. I'm a first year. I'm 24.
My name is Jim Abel. I'm a 2L at the University of Chicago Law School.
I'm Jessie. I'm a 1L here. I'm from Chicago, but I went to undergrad down south in Atlanta.
This is the University of Chicago Graduate School of Business. What are you doing here?
Brad Romney. I'm here at the GSB because I was at the law school at the University of Chicago before, so it was an easy transition.
Why did you choose the University of Chicago Law School?
People are here because they're into the material. Some of the other big name Ivy schools that I visited, you got the impression there was some entitlement there, and I just thought that here was an environment where people are just interested in the subject, wanted to learn about things, and it wasn't just, I expect to have success later, and I'm just going to a school with a name.
Actually, the number one reason was the faculty. It's really small and distinguished, and I heard that they were really close to the students.
I started out as an econ history major, and obviously Chicago's got a great program in law and econ, and I really wanted to continue that because I think I have an interest in antitrust law, and also heard from faculty at Vanderbilt University, the law school professors basically said, in terms of faculty quality and interaction, there's really no rival to Chicago, and those elements, that's all I needed to hear basically. That was my decision. Epstein, Posner, and Coase, all over here, and particularly also because I was interested in antitrust law, Judge Wood and Judge Easterbrook also very, very, very top-notch scholars in antitrust law. So that really kind of helped make the decision.
I miss the Midwest, so back here, and I like it a lot. And I'm liking law school a lot so far. But I'm a 1L, and it hasn't been that hard so far.
Why hasn't it been that hard? I thought the first semester of law school was supposed to be brutal.
Yeah, but we do quarters, so they kind of take it easy on us, apparently, the first quarter, and then just make our life miserable for the next two. That's what I've heard.
How heavy have you found the workload?
The workload's far more manageable than I expected. If you're going to class, you usually go to class somewhere between 9 and 2, or 2:33, and if you stay and do your homework till 5 or 6, kind of treat it like a work day, you'll be done. And you kind of you go home and you can do whatever you want, you get the weekends free. I imagine it'll get a little bit more intense around finals, but the workload is more than manageable.
How heavily Socratic have you found the school?
Most teachers are predominantly Socratic, I would say.
Have you been called on?
I have been called on. It is scary, but I've gotten called on probably in every class now, so you get used to it.
What is the relationship like with the rest of the university?
Actually, they have a lot of mixers, particularly with the graduate students. We'll have speed dating parties with the law school, the med school, all the graduate schools, and the business school, and it's actually pretty well integrated, I would say. I mean, we can take classes for law school credit over at the B school, so it's a pretty good integration. We have a great JD MBA program, so I'd say no, it's not isolated at all. Especially, being wanting to be kind of in that antitrust area where it is law, it really is a branch of law that is law and econ. A bunch of the introductory, structural economics classes are going to be important. So I absolutely want to take that. And Chicago B School, what better environment to do it in?
Are there many JD MBA students at Chicago?
There are 6 law student JD MBAs from my law class, and then there are, I think, 8 from the year ahead of me.
Did you plan on a joint degree from the outset?
I started law school. I paid attention to the business schools related to the law schools I was going to. I wasn't sure at the beginning whether I'd do a JD MBA, but I had thought about it.
Can you discuss the law and economics thrust of Chicago's curriculum?
It basically provides an entirely new way of thinking about the law, and that's what I wanted. It just felt, this school felt right for a bunch of different reasons, and I just could see myself enjoying my 3 years here, which, you know, once you realize that, that's really all there is to it, you know.
Has that turned out to be the case?
Absolutely, absolutely. It would never second guess the choice.
What do you plan on doing with your law degree? Why do you want to be a lawyer?
I've thought about a whole slew of different options, including teaching law, and the one thing I never imagined I would do is be a partner at a law firm. And so it's kind of, I thought, oh, if I decide to teach law, I'll go down just the law route. If I decide to go into business, then I'll add on the MBA. And who knows, maybe I'll still teach law later on, adjunct or whatever.
I plan to go into private practice at least for a little bit. I don't know that I'll do it as a career. In terms of like what type of law, I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I'm looking in the DC market, and you know, I thought, you know, my initial concern was, you know, okay, well, if I'm working in DC, you know, is it a good idea to go to Chicago, or should I go to one of the DC area schools? And there's no question. I mean, Chicago absolutely has national placement, and it was not a problem at all. And I actually got offers from my top 5 choices, so it turned out amazingly well. So, I mean, no complaints there at all.
I want to be a lawyer just because I feel like there's a lot of possibilities to do a lot of good things, but still make money at the same time. So that way, you know, I can try both ways and maybe find a combination of, you know, doing good and not being poor. I came in wanting to go public interest more, but this school really focuses like on going to a firm afterwards. They really try to push that. I don't know if they do it on purpose or they just talk about it a lot because firms come to them and you just get that opinion, but I feel like I've already been brainwashed a little bit that you gotta go firm at first.
Can you describe your academic experience?
Right now, all the 1Ls are taking torts, property, Civ Pro, and elements. They're all great so far.
I've loved both programs. I think you have a wide variety of the classes you get to take here. More so, I understand, than any other school, and which is a little bit different from the law school and from any law school, as I understand it.
How have you found the faculty?
A lot of schools have big name faculty, but they're here that are actually, they teach first year classes, they're involved. The faculty is very focused on the students, which you don't get everywhere else. When I email them, I'll email them before I go to bed at like 1 in the morning with a question. You wake up and you've got an answer, and it's an elaborate answer. It's unreal. I really don't quite understand how they have time to do it with all the other things they're doing, teaching classes, writing, going to these conferences, yet they manage to just shoot you back right away, always. So it's pretty cool.
You know, students are always going up to teachers after class to ask questions or emailing or going to office hours. And I think the fact that the faculty is small in number just makes them more accessible. The doors to their offices are like always open, and they always say, please. I think they really appreciate having students come by.
Outstanding. Basically, this is one instance where the hype is true. If you want to come here and have access to, you know, like one of my friends, you know, when they came here for elements, they had Professor Sunstein teaching a first-year course. You know, first semester, your fall semester, you start out with Professor Sunstein and Professor Epstein teaching torts. I mean, when you come and have access to scholars of that caliber that early, I mean, what more needs to be said, really? You know.
Do you get many interesting speakers and guests?
Yeah, we have got a lot of interesting speakers so far, but a lot of times we just have our faculty lecture on stuff because they have so much awesome stuff that they've done that people want to hear more about just, you know, torts. They want to hear what they've done, so they get a lot of that. But we do get speakers too.
Can you talk about the size of the school?
Incoming class is about 192 students, so very, very small, very intimate. And again, that's what I wanted. I wanted to get to know my classmates, be able to actually, you know, remember their names and when I meet them in the hallway, and that's exactly what Chicago provides.
Can you describe your fellow students? Is it a young crowd?
You know, people that have just graduated from college to people that have been out working for a decade. It totally runs the gamut.
The students, you know, everyone's very sharp. It's a good environment. Discussion in class is interesting. You know, you want to hear what everyone else has to say because you know that they know what they're talking about. And you know, the social environment's fun. It's kind of like going back to high school almost. You know, everyone kind of knows each other, gets along.
Though it's definitely, it seems mixed. It seems less mixed because I hang out with the young kids. I'm straight out undergrad, so like my friends seem to be more my age because we're out getting drunk and stuff. But there actually, when you look at the class, there actually is a wide variety of people, age-wise, and I met them in the beginning when we were meeting everybody. But yeah, there's so many interesting people. We have, one of my friends just got back from Iraq for 2 years, and people are from all over the country and all over the world, really. Everyone has an interesting story, it seems like, to me.
I mean, you know, we heard the horror stories coming in and we said, oh, it's so cutthroat, it's so competitive. Not true. Not true at all. This really does feel very collegial. Made some great friends over last year, still have them, and you know, it was surprisingly easy, actually. You know, we walked out of OCI and everybody was like, you know, that wasn't nearly the horror story we had heard, so it was great. The environment's great, the student body's great, and you know, again, would not come anywhere else.
What is it like socially?
This sounds bad, but like everyone thinks of the University of Chicago, at least undergrad, as like being a really nerdy school. So all my friends are like, yeah, good luck making friends in law school, but people have actually been really cool. We have a lot of fun. We've actually been talking about how we need to stop going out so much and actually start pretending we're law students, but they're very cool.
The university does a really good job with we have bar review every week. Great time, you go out, get to explore the local bars in the Chicago scene. You know, again, it really is, that collegial environment kind of comes out. It's just a good combination all around, basically.
The school provides lots of opportunities to do things socially with other students, and both on campus and just through making it easy for students to get together socially outside of school as well.
Where do people hang out? Hyde Park, Chicago?
The Green Lounge in here, you know, in between classes, people kind of hang out. There's a lot of, you know, they have a weekly wine mess here. Everyone kind of, on Fridays, everyone gets together, drinks. There's a pub across the street. And then, you know, weekends, people usually go up north because the south side doesn't have as much like bars and clubs, so people go up north. And Thursday nights, they have a bar review, so, you know, the different bar around town, most of the law school goes to. So it's, you know, it's kind of all over. There's some stuff down here, but when people like more going out, they go up north.
There's a couple bars in Hyde Park, or we just hang out at people's houses, but most, like weekends, we usually take a cab or get up to the north side somehow and hang out there. Because a lot of people are from the Midwest, so they have friends who live up there, and so it's pretty fun.
A lot of people live up north, kind of downtown and Lincoln Park and areas right up above downtown. And so they obviously are down there a lot. And for people who live down in Hyde Park, I mean, I found it to be a great place to live. And I've managed to get up to downtown more often. I think maybe that's a better distinction with the business school and law school. I think the business students manage to make it up there more often in the first year than the law students do.
How do you like Chicago as a city?
I've been living in DC for the last 6 years. So, and I've lived in New York and other big cities, and I think Chicago might be my favorite, so.
I love the city. Also, I like Midwestern people. I think they're down to earth and fun, and I'll tell you what I don't like there, the fact that it's freezing.
How bad are the winters?
I'm used to them.
Being from the South, the winter's a little bit too long for my taste, but you know, again, it's a nice change. It's a nice change from, I spent most of my life in Tennessee. So this is a little different, and I figured DC would kind of be that happy medium in between, you know, the South where there's no winter and here where the winter's a little bit too long, but you know, that's the nature of the geography, basically.
I've kind of blocked that out since I haven't been here for 4 years, so I've suppressed the memory, but it gets really bad, I'm sure.
I've been through two winters here, and it's they're fine. I understand that it's been somewhat mild the last 2 years, but it's not that bad.
I mean, I'm from Chicago, so I'm kind of used to it, but I feel like the winters haven't been as bad. And I went to undergrad up in Michigan, where it snows nonstop, so I don't know if that skewed my perspective, but, you know, I think Chicago has a bad reputation for its winters. They're really pretty manageable. You know, it gets cold late December, if that, and it's usually done by the end of February. And it's getting pretty nice again. It's not too bad.
Do you need a car?
No, not at all. Basically, you know, you can do lots of stuff in Hyde Park, and then the other nice thing is, you know, the bus is pretty well run, and one of the advantages of having, again, that collegial environment is if you don't have a car, one of your friends will, and so it's never ever been a problem. If people go down to bar review, they always ask everybody, okay, who's going? You know, you drop 6 students off in the car and head on down.
Well, I live downtown, so yeah, but I think it helps for everybody.
I mean, depending on where you live, I mean, I live like 2 blocks away from the campus, so it's not much trouble. But, you know, I imagine if you live up on the north side, I mean, when I was next door, I lived near Wrigley Field, and you probably need a car because it takes about an hour and a half on the train, and if the transfer doesn't work out so well, you're kind of a little bit of a pickle.
I have a car. My parents live in Evanston, which is about an hour away. I like to get free dinner, so I go up there. I just think it's useful to have a car to get in the city once in a while because there's always cool stuff going on. Like Samaha's giving a talk up in the city Thursday night on the Supreme Court, the current state of the Supreme Court. So you can take the Metro, but public transportation to Hyde Park isn't great. So I like my car, but a lot of my friends don't have one.
I have a car. If you're going to live down in Hyde Park, you probably should have one. If you live up north, you don't really need to.
Can you describe your experience as a JD MBA student at Chicago?
I've loved it. I've enjoyed both programs. They're very different though. The business school here is, you know, the people are, let's see, I think it's more academic at the law school, and the professors are on the same caliber, top of their field at both places. The students here are maybe more focused on getting the job, and that's, I think an MBA program generally has to be that way. At law school, you have, you know, one on-campus interviewing session at the beginning of your second year, and everybody's doing the same thing, so you don't have law firms coming on campus to present. Whereas here you have consulting firms and banks and people from all different industries coming on campus to present, have coffee chats and information sessions.
What advice do you have for prospective students looking at law schools in general and Chicago in particular?
I would have a hard time advising others on how to decide between the various schools because I didn't really look too hard at them. I know that coming on campus is a huge factor. Just come and see what the people are really like. You know, in relation to the investment you're going to be making, it's, you know, nickels and dimes. So that's the first thing I do. If you can narrow it down to 10 schools and then go visit all of them.
You know, work hard undergrad, have a good GPA and a good outset. That's really the most important thing.
In general, absolutely think you need to visit the school because I think fit plays such an important role in whether or not you're going to enjoy your time there. And also, you know, if you do have an interest in a particular program, check out what the school's known for. You know, absolutely, like, you know, for me, law and econ was the thing. And, you know, I would say to people that are looking for particular strengths that, you know, you might want to check out what the school has to offer in those departments. And I found that this is the place where I needed to go for what I wanted out of the school. And that was it.
I think it's just important that if you're going to law school, you just want to do it because, I mean, even now they tell us it's an easy semester and we still have a lot of work, like probably 4 to 5 hours of homework a night. And if you're not into it, that's going to be a miserable 4 hours. So just make sure you want to do it. I'm a different story because I knew I wanted to come to Chicago. So I applied to every school in Chicago and like one other one just for fun. But so that was different for me. I think it made it a lot easier to know where I wanted to go first because then, you know, then you can really focus on what the school has to offer and not be like, well, these are pretty similar, but one's in Boston and one's in LA, you know? I thought that really helped me focus on the school.
I mean, if, you know, what they're after is an intellectual environment, a place where, you know, you want to be stimulated, it's a good place to be. I mean, it's not terribly competitive. I think a lot of that leads to, you know, it's a well-respected school, so everyone's job prospects are pretty good. I mean, just about everyone I think will do well coming out, so you don't have that like cutthroatness. So I mean, it seems like a good place to go. It's a good city, So it's fun.
So, did you make the right decision?
Yeah, I'm really happy here. Really impressed with the quality of education, and both the professors and my students, or I mean my classmates are. I'm continually impressed by how smart and interesting they are. So, in that respect, definitely.